Criminal Psychology. Module 1. Understanding Criminal Psychology. Define criminal psychology. Criminal psychology is a branch of psychology that focuses on understanding and analyzing criminal behavior. It involves the application of psychological principles and methods to gain insights into the minds of criminals, their motives, and the factors that contribute to criminal actions. Purpose of criminal psychology. Discuss the role of criminal psychologists in the criminal justice system. Highlight how their expertise is used to aid law enforcement, investigate crimes, and contribute to the legal process. Theories of criminal behavior. Biological factors. Explore the influence of genetics, brain structure, and neurotransmitters on criminal predispositions. Discuss the debate around the role of nature versus nurture in criminality. Psychological factors. Examine how personality disorders, mental illnesses, and cognitive processes contribute to criminal behavior. Discuss theories such as psychopathy and the role of mental health in criminal acts. Module 2. The Criminal Mind. Biological factors. Some researchers suggest that biological factors, such as genetics and brain abnormalities, may play a role in criminal behavior. However, it's essential to approach this perspective with caution, as the relationship between genetics and criminality is not straightforward, and many factors contribute to behavior. Psychological factors. Psychologists explore personality traits, mental disorders, and cognitive factors that may contribute to criminal behavior. For example, psychopathy, a personality disorder characterized by a lack of empathy and remorse, has been linked to criminal conduct. Social and environmental factors. Social and environmental factors, including family upbringing, socioeconomic status, peer influences, and community environments, significantly impact criminal behavior. Individuals growing up in disadvantaged or dysfunctional environments may be more susceptible to engaging in criminal activities. Criminological theories. Various criminological theories attempt to explain criminal behavior. For instance, strain theory posits that individuals may turn to crime as a way to cope with societal pressures and inequalities. Social learning theory suggests that criminal behavior is learned through interactions with others. Neurocriminology. This emerging field explores the connection between brain function and criminal behavior. Brain imaging studies aim to identify neurological patterns associated with criminal tendencies, although the results are still inconclusive. Environmental criminology. This approach focuses on how the physical and social environment influences criminal behavior. Factors like urban design, neighborhood characteristics, and the availability of resources can impact crime rates. Module 3. Types of criminal offenders. Criminal offenders can be categorized in various ways based on factors such as the nature of their crimes, motivations, and psychological profiles. It's important to note that these categories are not mutually exclusive, and individuals may exhibit characteristics from multiple types. Here are some common classifications of criminal offenders. Violent offenders. Engage in crimes that involve physical harm or the threat of harm to others. This category includes individuals involved in offenses such as assault, murder, robbery, and domestic violence. Property offenders. Commit crimes against property, rather than against individuals. This category includes burglars, thieves, vandals, and individuals involved in property-related offenses. White-collar offenders. Engage in non-violent, financially motivated crimes typically committed by individuals in positions of trust and responsibility. Examples include embezzlement, fraud, insider trading, and other forms of corporate or business-related crime. Juvenile offenders. Individuals under a certain age who commit offenses that, if committed by an adult, would be considered crimes. Juvenile offenders often enter the criminal justice system through specialized juvenile courts. Drug offenders. Engage in crimes related to the production, distribution, or consumption of illegal drugs. This category includes drug traffickers, dealers, and individuals involved in drug-related offenses. Sex offenders commit crimes of a sexual nature, such as rape, sexual assault, child molestation, or possession of child pornography. Sex offenders are often subject to registration and monitoring requirements. Repeat offenders, recidivists. Individuals who have a history of multiple criminal offenses. Repeat offenders may cycle in and out of the criminal justice system, posing challenges for rehabilitation and crime prevention. Organized crime offenders participate in organized criminal enterprises that engage in illegal activities such as racketeering, money laundering, and drug trafficking. Organized crime offenders are often part of larger, structured criminal organizations. Hate crime offenders commit offenses motivated by prejudice or bias against a particular race, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, or other characteristics. Hate crimes can include assault, harassment, or property damage. Cybercriminals engage in criminal activities conducted through the use of computers and the Internet. Cybercriminals may commit offenses such as hacking, identity theft, online fraud, and spreading malware. Module 4: Criminal Profiling. Criminal profiling, also known as offender profiling or criminal investigative analysis, is a technique used by law enforcement to help identify and apprehend criminals. Profiling involves analyzing crime scenes, evidence, and behavioral patterns to create a psychological and behavioral profile of the likely offender. It is important to note that criminal profiling is not an exact science, and its effectiveness and reliability have been a subject of debate within the law enforcement and forensic psychology communities. Key aspects of criminal profiling include crime scene analysis. Profilers examine the details of a crime scene to identify patterns, modus operandi, the offender's method of operation, and signatures, distinctive behaviors that are not necessary to commit the crime but are chosen by the offender. Victimology. Profilers consider information about the victims, such as demographics, relationships, and lifestyle, to understand the potential motives and characteristics of the offender. Behavioral analysis. Profilers analyze the behavior exhibited by the offender during the commission of the crime. This may include the level of organization, aggression, or control displayed by the offender. Geographical profiling. Examining the locations of crimes to identify patterns and potentially narrow down the area where the offender may reside or operate. Offender characteristics. Profilers attempt to create a psychological profile of the offender, including factors such as age, gender, education level, and potential mental health issues. Investigative suggestions. Profilers provide law enforcement with suggestions for investigative strategies based on the analysis. This could include recommendations for interview techniques, suspect prioritization, or areas to focus on during the investigation. Continuous assessment. Profilers may re-evaluate and update their profiles as new information becomes available or as the investigation progresses. Module 5: Forensic Psychology. Forensic psychology is a specialized field that combines principles of psychology with the legal and criminal justice systems. Forensic psychologists apply their knowledge and skills to assist in various legal and criminal investigations, as well as in the courtroom. Here are key aspects of forensic psychology. Criminal profiling. Forensic psychologists may engage in criminal profiling, attempting to create a psychological profile of an offender based on the analysis of crime scenes, evidence, and behavioral patterns. Profilers aim to assist law enforcement in identifying and apprehending suspects. Competency evaluations. Forensic psychologists assess an individual's mental state to determine their competency to stand trial. This involves evaluating the defendant's understanding of the legal proceedings and their ability to assist in their own defense. Insanity defense. Forensic psychologists may be involved in cases where the insanity defense is raised. They evaluate the defendant's mental state at the time of the crime to determine whether they were legally insane and, as a result, not criminally responsible for their actions. Witness testimony and jury selection. Forensic psychologists may assist in the selection of jurors by assessing potential biases and prejudices. They may also provide expert testimony on various psychological aspects of a case, such as eyewitness reliability, memory, or the impact of trauma. Victim advocacy and support. Forensic psychologists work with victims of crime, providing counseling, support, and advocacy. They may help victims navigate the legal system and cope with the psychological aftermath of a crime. Risk assessment. Forensic psychologists assess the risk of individuals committing future crimes. This is commonly done in cases involving parole, probation, or the release of individuals from psychiatric institutions. Child custody evaluations. In family court, forensic psychologists may conduct evaluations to determine the best interests of the child in custody disputes. They assess the psychological well-being of the parents and the child. Police consultation. Forensic psychologists may provide consultation to law enforcement agencies on matters such as hostage negotiation, crisis intervention, and improving police-community relations. Correctional psychology. Forensic psychologists working in correctional settings assess and treat individuals within the criminal justice system. They may provide counseling, conduct risk assessments, and develop rehabilitation programs for inmates. Research and policy development. Forensic psychologists engage in research to inform legal and criminal justice policies. They may study topics such as the effectiveness of rehabilitation programs, the impact of legal procedures on witnesses, or the prevention of criminal behavior. Module 6: Psychopathy and Antisocial Behavior. Psychopathy. Psychopathy is a personality disorder characterized by enduring antisocial behavior, diminished empathy and remorse, boldness, and a lack of normal social inhibitions. Individuals with psychopathy often display superficial charm, manipulation, and a tendency to engage in impulsive and irresponsible behavior. Psychopathy is assessed using the Hare Psychopathy Checklist Revised, PCLR, a diagnostic tool developed by psychologist Robert Hare. Key features of psychopathy include superficial charm. Psychopaths often appear charming and glib, capable of easily manipulating others. Lack of empathy. A significant characteristic of psychopathy is a lack of empathy or remorse for the harm caused to others. Impulsivity. Psychopaths may exhibit impulsive behavior, acting without consideration of consequences. Cunning and manipulation. Psychopaths are often skilled at manipulating others to achieve their goals. Shallow emotions. Psychopaths may display a lack of deep emotional experiences and attachments. Antisocial lifestyle. Psychopaths tend to lead a nomadic and often criminal lifestyle. Antisocial behavior. Antisocial behavior is a broader term that encompasses a range of actions that violate societal norms and the rights of others. While psychopathy is considered a specific personality disorder, antisocial behavior refers to actions that go against social norms, rules, and laws. Not all individuals who engage in antisocial behavior meet the criteria for psychopathy. Common features of antisocial behavior include criminal activity. Antisocial behavior often involves criminal acts, such as theft, assault, or vandalism. Lack of empathy. Similar to psychopathy, individuals engaged in antisocial behavior may display a lack of empathy for others. Impulsivity. Impulsive actions without considering the consequences are often associated with antisocial behavior. Aggression. Aggressive behaviors, both physical and verbal, may be present in individuals exhibiting antisocial behavior. Violation of social norms. Antisocial behavior involves actions that deviate from accepted social norms and standards. It's important to note that not everyone who engages in antisocial behavior meets the criteria for psychopathy. Psychopathy is considered a more severe and specific personality disorder, and its diagnosis involves a comprehensive assessment using tools like the PCLR. Both psychopathy and antisocial behavior can have significant social and legal implications. Treatment and intervention for individuals with these traits often require a multidimensional approach, involving therapy, counseling, and sometimes legal measures. Early identification and intervention can be crucial in preventing the escalation of antisocial behavior and addressing the underlying issues associated with psychopathy. Module 7: Criminal Rehabilitation. Criminal rehabilitation refers to the process of helping individuals who have engaged in criminal behavior to reintegrate into society, address the root causes of their criminality, and prevent future criminal acts. The goal of rehabilitation is to facilitate positive behavioral change, promote personal growth, and reduce the risk of recidivism, the likelihood of reoffending. Key components of criminal rehabilitation include assessment and treatment planning. A thorough assessment of the offender's needs, risks, and strengths is conducted to tailor an individualized rehabilitation plan. This plan may include various interventions such as counseling, education, vocational training, and substance abuse treatment. Counseling and therapy. Psychological and behavioral therapies aim to address underlying issues such as substance abuse, mental health disorders, or trauma that may contribute to criminal behavior. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is commonly used to help individuals recognize and change negative thought patterns and behaviors. Educational programs. Providing educational opportunities, including basic literacy skills, vocational training, and job readiness programs, helps offenders develop skills that can enhance their employability and reduce the likelihood of reoffending. Community support. Building a support network within the community is crucial for successful rehabilitation. This may involving family, friends, and community organizations in the rehabilitation process. Probation and parole. Community supervision through probation or parole allows offenders to receive support and monitoring while living in the community. Conditions may include regular check-ins, drug testing, and participation in rehabilitation programs. Therapeutic interventions. Some rehabilitation programs incorporate therapeutic interventions, such as anger management classes or social skills training, to help individuals develop healthier coping mechanisms and interpersonal skills. Employment opportunities. Providing opportunities for meaningful employment helps offenders establish stability, financial independence, and a sense of purpose. Substance abuse treatment. Many offenders have substance abuse issues. Rehabilitation programs often include substance abuse treatment to address addiction and promote recovery. Restorative justice programs. Restorative justice focuses on repairing harm caused by the offender to victims in the community. Offenders may participate in victim-offender dialogues, restitution, and community service to make amends for their actions. Re-entry programs. Specialized programs assist individuals as they transition back into the community after serving their sentences. This may include support with housing, employment, and social integration. Module 8: Legal and Ethical Issues in Criminal Psychology. Criminal psychology, like any other field, is subject to legal and ethical considerations. Professionals in this field must navigate complex situations involving individuals who have engaged in criminal behavior or are at risk of doing so. Here are some key legal and ethical issues in criminal psychology. Confidentiality. Maintaining client confidentiality is a fundamental ethical principle. However, there are situations where psychologists may be required to breach confidentiality, such as when there is a risk of harm to the client or others. Balancing the need for confidentiality with the duty to protect the safety of individuals is a constant challenge. Informed consent. Obtaining informed consent is essential before initiating any psychological assessment or intervention. In criminal psychology, individuals may be mandated to participate in assessments or treatment, and psychologists must ensure that these individuals understand the purpose, nature, and potential consequences of their involvement. Competency and voluntariness. Psychologists must assess the competency and voluntariness of individuals participating in legal processes. This is particularly important when working with individuals involved in legal cases, such as competency to stand trial or the voluntariness of confessions. Dual roles and conflicts of interest. Psychologists working in criminal justice settings may face dual roles, such as acting as both a therapist and a forensic evaluator. Managing potential conflicts of interest and maintaining objectivity is crucial to uphold ethical standards. Cultural competence. Cultural competence is essential in criminal psychology to ensure fair and unbiased assessments and treatments. Understanding the cultural background of individuals involved in the legal system helps prevent discriminatory practices. Use of psychological assessments. The use of psychological assessments, such as personality tests or risk assessments, raises ethical concerns related to their validity, reliability, and potential impact on legal decisions. Psychologists must be cautious about over-reliance on assessments and consider their limitations. Testimony in court. Providing expert testimony in court requires psychologists to present information accurately, impartially, and within the bounds of their expertise. It is crucial to avoid making predictions beyond the scope of psychological science. Mental health treatment in correctional settings. Psychologists providing mental health treatment in correctional settings face ethical challenges related to the dual responsibility of providing care while working within an institutional context that may prioritize security concerns. Forensic evaluation standards. Psychologists involved in forensic evaluations, such as competency or sanity evaluations, must adhere to established professional standards. These standards include conducting thorough assessments, using validated measures, and providing accurate and unbiased information to the legal system. Prevention of harm. Psychologists have an ethical obligation to take action to prevent harm. This may involve reporting potential threats to the safety of the individual or others, even if it requires breaching confidentiality. Module 9, Case Studies. Clinical Psychology. Case Study. A patient presents with symptoms of depression and anxiety. The case study would include a detailed history, the development of symptoms, the therapeutic intervention process, and the outcome of treatment. It may explore the use of specific therapeutic approaches and medications. Forensic Psychology. Case Study. A forensic psychologist is asked to assess the mental competency of an individual accused of a crime. The case study would delve into the evaluation process, the tools used, the psychologist's findings, and the implications for legal proceedings. Educational Psychology. Case Study. A student is struggling in school, showing signs of learning difficulties. The case study may involve an assessment of the student's academic and social environment, the implementation of educational interventions, and tracking the student's progress over time. Organizational Psychology. Case Study. An organization is experiencing high turnover and decreased employee satisfaction. The case study could explore the organizational culture, leadership styles, and interventions implemented to address these issues, along with the impact on employee morale and retention. Health Psychology. Case Study. A patient is diagnosed with a chronic illness. The case study would cover the patient's coping mechanisms, adherence to medical recommendations, and the psychological impact of the illness on the patient's overall well-being. Criminal psychology. Case study. A criminal profiler is called in to assist with a series of unsolved crimes. The case study may detail the profiler's analysis of crime scenes, development of a psychological profile, and collaboration with law enforcement to apprehend the perpetrator. Sports psychology. Case study. An athlete is struggling with performance anxiety. The case study might explore the athlete's background, specific stressors, interventions such as visualization and goal setting, and the impact on the athlete's competitive performance. Neuropsychology. Case study. A patient experiences a traumatic brain injury. The case study would involve a comprehensive neuropsychological assessment, tracking cognitive and emotional changes, and the development and implementation of a rehabilitation plan.